Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, the Mocha Hong Kong shop number is public, of course, but not that I want people calling it at the evening. So, do you see on the sidewalk? They did a good job. They've done their job properly this time. These are the guys next door. You see the scar on the sidewalk? They've done a good job. They spent actually quite a long time. I went out there to chat with them. They did this not last night, it was 2 nights ago. I went out there to chat with them when I heard the noise start. It was near midnight, I guess, when they started up. And the guys were not actually so happy about this because the foreman was making them take out the tiles instead of smashing the tiles. And they had to like dig in and put wires in and try and pull them up. And these things are heavy. They're not 10 centimeters thick, they're maybe 8 centimeters thick. They are heavy. They're heavy. So anyway, they got them out first, took an hour and a half or so, and then after that they started jackhammering and did their gas thing come in the morning, So tiles are out, recycling's out, paper's out. Nobody's upstairs today at all. No, it's just me. I'm in the building myself today. There's going to be a visit at 6 o'clock. The real estate man is coming to get his pound of flesh. He's going to want 460,000 yen from me this afternoon. Me and Aoyama-san prepared it yesterday. 460,000 yen, about $45,000, $4,500. That's the renewal pound of flesh for being allowed to stay here and pay rent for the future. So, good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Well, show and tell. We should hide that, I think. Actually, today's show and tell. I'm really not sure. I'm getting into trouble now. I get upstairs in the morning, and what should we show them today? Oh no, I showed them that a while ago. Oh no, I showed them that. I can't remember if I've showed them this. I'm getting to the point now where I can't remember actually what I've showed you because it's been 3 years we've been doing this. I guess some of you probably know what this is. The show, I got this in the mail yesterday. I got this in the mail. This isn't part of the show and tell, but I got it in the mail. Taran-san, he's keeping me in touch with what he's doing. And he sent me a proof of his latest stuff. I think he's doing this on the sly. I don't think this is his official work from Asuka-sensei. How many blocks? Rain block, light umbrella, dark umbrella, black. 4 blocks, He's coming along, it's funny. He's doing exactly the same kind of thing I did. Exactly. He's not a clone of me. He's his own person. But it's really, really common. He's shooting way above his pay grade. If I were a strict teacher and I was teaching somebody, nothing to do with me, but if I were a strict teacher, I would not let the guy do anything like this, of course. This is theoretically above your pay grade. If you can't even carve a nice straight line yet, what are you doing trying to carve this? But I get it. He just wants to push the envelope. It's great fun. I'm really having fun watching. I wish I could help support him more. They should be getting more work ready for him, I guess. He put his Instagram, so I guess it's okay. I know it's a modern era. In the old days, a young man like that wouldn't be allowed to do that. Now, of course, he is. Encouragement. Go for it. I'm so happy to see this, Absolutely happy to see this, It's not me to criticize or comment. He's coming along very well. He's enthusiastic. He's interested. He's obviously got some skill for this. Nothing but good is going to come of this. What's the cat block? People asked me about that before. The cat block, relax. Those of you who have been here for a couple of years, this is when, 1.5 years ago, I started this cat block for the cat series. And it turned out that the piece of wood just wasn't cutting it. It just wasn't good enough. It was too weak. I don't remember the specific problem. It was chippy, or it just wasn't strong enough, or it was too soft. And I cut and run. Rather than waste any more time on it, I just canceled it, cut and run. Went upstairs, got a new piece of wood, printed out the hunched again, started carving, and that block became the real cat block. But this has stayed on my desk. And what I use it for, yesterday, for example, I spent all day yesterday checking prints. So when I put prints here to take the chidi off, if I put the print on the mat here, it doesn't focus on the microscope because the microscope is designed to focus at this height from the mat. So I keep this junk piece of wood here, and when I'm putting the piece of paper on to do the chiritori, it is now at the right focus level for the microscope, instead of changing all the focus. So I keep a junk piece of wood here as a base for when I'm doing chiritori, and this is the one I just threw it aside. Actually, what happened was too, is I ended up using this for one of the lanterns for the ramen cats, so I'm going to, and that's actually not even finished, look at that. So this is going to be taken away when the ramen cats gets test printed. I will lose my junk piece of wood, and I will have to go upstairs and find another one. Okay, today's stream is going to be simple. It's going to be more carving of this peony until it's show and tell time, and we have a show and tell. We have two small little books. Well, whatever, we'll talk about it when we get there. But before I forget then, and before I get started here, let me show you this thing they did on the sidewalk yesterday. The story about the sidewalk. I took some pictures yesterday just to show you what it was that has gone on. Here is the picture you just see right now. That's the sidewalk next door to me. They've done a beautiful job taking out the tiles carefully, doing the gas, and filling it with asphalt. And what's going to happen is after it settles for a while, it's rained on and settles. After it's settled to a certain stage, they come back and they will put the tiles back in place. But the one across the street, I took another picture of it, and this is across the street there, the Yamaka Shoten. And this is what those dudes did. They chewed their way through across the street, they ripped up our tiles, and they knew what the law says. You can't take away what are the tiles called for blind people? I forget what they're called, the yellow tiles. So they had to put the yellow tiles back because the law would be really angry about that. If somebody came along and tripped, they would get their asses sued. But you can see where they have cut with their cutting machines. They've cut into our tiles. Now these tiles are expensive. They're Italian granite or marble or something like this, I don't know. And they have just hacked them to pieces here and thrown away the pieces. So there is, actually, there's crap happening in the background here. The leader of our group, the Kaicho-san, is volcanically upset about this. And there is going to be a restitution made at some point. Where they're going to get replacement tiles, I have no idea. Go back to the same quarry in Italy or something. I don't know any details about that. But this is what should not have happened, and this is the way it's supposed to be done. I think it's granite. I don't know. I'm not a whatever. And things are really quiet outside. You're not going to see anything outside today except people, like a few people going to office jobs and stuff like that. The bars are shut down. There's no legal lockdown here, but what the government has done is, I think it's the city who's done this, I'm not sure. They're going to pay all the bars, they're going to pay them, rokumayen, they're going to pay them 60,000 yen per evening if they shut down. No strings attached, just City Hall will just send a check for 60,000 yen for each day that they are shut down from now until February the 7th. So all the little bars, they're just shutting down. I know 60,000 yen is about $600. And that's a no questions asked payment to the bar for shutting down. So the giant bars are not doing that. The giant bars are staying open, but the little local bars are all closing. That's just free cash for them. That's way more than their profit would be anyway on any given night for the little local bars. So things have gone quiet, really, really quiet. Even the coffee shop across the street, they've closed. Sign says we'll be back February the 8th. Doesn't affect us at all. This is rules for bars and restaurants. So. Okay, let's do a little bit of work here. Looks like you're up and running. Good, good. Good morning, good morning. Shibori man, the hot towel man. Talking about the tiles, are we? So. I don't know if tiles are pavers, can it? I think they're called pavers. I don't know the proper English word for those things. They're way too thick and heavy, I think, to be called tiles. I don't know. Pavers, I think, is the word. They are heavy. I watched those guys struggle with them the other night, you know. They are heavy. They're these big chunks of granite. They're thick. They must have cost an absolute fortune. My timing coming to the street was just perfect, you know. All this stuff, the new lights, the new Italian pavers, all that stuff, that was put in a few years before I came here. So, and it must have taken years of negotiation, endless meetings and meetings and votes and meetings and trying to get money from here and there. It must have taken ages to, you know, literally years and years to get ready. And I just came in 2014 and it was all done. And maintenance is still, you know, they collect money every month from us for the maintenance for this stuff, but the project itself was done. So I came at exactly the right time. In here, conversation. Hello from Houston, another one from Texas. We've got other Texas people here. Thanks for coming in. Hi. No special conversation going on here. So, do one of those perspective paintings, right? It looks like a hole. Are people walking on this, or are they walking around it? I don't know. How long before they'll repair the tiles? The ones here, they're going to wait. I don't know, it's a month or 2 months or something. They've got a standard procedure. They pull up tiles, do the thing, and they put asphalt in place. And he said, "Shizunda ato," it's going to settle. So I guess they decide at some point it settles a few centimeters, whatever it is, I don't know. Then they put the things back in. There is one place on the street, down near the big whale restaurant. The neighbor to him, they had a water main burst or something underneath their place, and they dug up the tiles, fixed the water, and put them back. And in that case, they put the tiles, the pavers back the same day. And you can see actually over there, the pavers now are actually a little bit up and down. Not enough for people to trip, but they are uneven there. You can see it when you look from a distance. So to do it properly, they have to wait a while till things have settled and then put them back. So just we'll watch and see, no idea. I think what settles is, depends how far they've dug down and the soil they put back in. I guess they tamp it down, I'm sure. But it seems that to do it properly, you wait till the stuff settles and then you put your final surface back on top. In general, this street's fine. This work was done, as I said, over a decade ago, and it's still perfect. These 2 blocks are in great condition. This latest adventure here, where those idiots across the street chopped it up, this seems to be the first real problem. Can you hear the glass? They're picking up the glass. Today is recyclable stuff day. Glass, PET bottles, cardboard, newspaper, cans. And mine is out. Mine is out. A huge deck of cardboard. I put out a bunch of PET bottles and 3 wine bottles. I've been forgetting to put those out in recent weeks. 3 wine bottles went out today. You could track Dave's drinking habits by watching how it changes through the seasons, you know. In the summer, it's beer cans. Dave drinks a can of beer with dinner in the summertime, but not in the winter. I can't bear putting all that cold liquid in my body, so. Shoo, 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 shoo. Oops. Not sure what other news or updates there are. I know, what have I been doing this week? I know there's more stuff went into the collection. Just last night I put more match label prints into the collection. There's a series of landscapes, Hasui type landscapes that went in last night. What's coming up next for the collection in the next few days and over the next week, there's going to be some more of the process printing stuff. We shot a bunch of those the other day. Took a whole bunch more pictures of printing process stuff, you know, where you get a blank piece of paper, it goes to a finished print step by step by step. We have another half a dozen or so of those in reserve, and that'll be going up to the collection later this week or early next week. So. But last night it was more match labels. So. And speaking about the match labels, I don't know, did I mention about that auction that happened last week, the one that I missed? I took photographs of it. I took all the photos from the auction because I didn't get the thing. I took all the photos because I want to save the data. And the reason specifically that I had really wanted to get that batch of prints is because it was a bunch of uncut match label prints. And I've been thinking that they're made in groups of 8 and 10 and stuff like that. But it turns out in that auction they had some photographs. And they had, on that auction, sheets of 25 at a time on one sheet. And I had no idea that they were made in sheets that were that large, because the registration gets insanely difficult with 25 small prints on one sheet. 2 up is okay, 4 up is okay, 8 up or 10 up in a row you can handle. 2 by 5 or 2 by 6 to make 12. But there were some examples of sheets of 25 match labels, 5 by 5 on a single sheet. I really, really wanted to get those for our collection, but it just, I gave up just over $1,000, and it ended up selling for $1,500 for about 3,000 match labels. And I just can't afford it right now. We just finished paying staff bonuses for the year, and then there's this rent thing tonight. I got to give this guy $5,000 for the rent. So it was frustrating to see those prints. A once in a lifetime chance to get some of those prints, and just couldn't do it. So. is a funny piece of wood. We talked about it before. The grain, which way the grain is going. You just get yourself sorted out. It goes that way, it's okay. But then when you move a few centimeters in another direction, the grain goes the opposite direction. It's almost a flat grain on this one, so you never know which way it's going to move. It's an awkward piece of wood, but it's good and hard, so that once we're finished here, this block is going to last a long, long time. This is good. This is what we want. It doesn't matter if it's awkward to carve, as long as it lasts a long time once we're done. Yeah, the thing we're paying tonight is not rent, it's the key money. You know, this is an old-fashioned district, and I've got 2 months of key money to pay. The rent, we're renewing the lease. Now, we talked about this all through the last year. It's a 3-year lease on every floor of this building. I've got 3 separate leases, all of which run for 3 years, and all of which started at different times. Because it's a broken up building, and we got the second floor first, then the third floor, then the first floor. And each of these is a 3-year lease. And each one has to be renewed after 3 years, or canceled, whichever, as it may be. And you've got to pay a renewal fee each time. And I'm paying 2 months renewal fee for this one. So it's $5,000 rent, almost. And I'm paying 2 months. And we've negotiated and chatted and negotiated, said, I'm not going to pay that if you're blah, blah, blah. So tonight, the final negotiation is I've got to pay him 460,000 yen for the privilege of being able to start again next month. So whatever. I shouldn't talk about it. Just, it's today, so it's in my mind, you know, whatever. So. Hi, 今日も寒いですよ。今日も寒い。Vivid KP, current block is amazing. So when there's a pronounced grain that goes one way, you know you're safe. You go this way, you're all right. You go this way, you're bad. So you mentally know which way is safe and which way is not. But this block, because it's almost level, so inside it's probably like this. The grain is actually waving a bit like this. So when I'm here, the grain might be that way, and when I'm here, the grain might be this way. So everywhere you go, it's up and it's down. So you never know. When you're going to put your chisel in to take it away, you never know which way it's going to be going. Tom's asking, did I get my suggestion for the collection? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Get into a bundle of prints. I don't understand. The collection, a suggestion you made in the stream today here or in an email or something? To get into a bundle of prints after you click on the thumbnail, so you won't have to go back out of thumbnail view and click the title. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Last stream. I'm not sure what you mean. The thumbnails and the titles have different actions. Clicking the thumbnail brings up a view of larger versions of all the prints on that page. Clicking the title will take you to the specific page for that print where it's got data and a description. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. The two functions are different. One is just to look at pictures and one is to look for information. I'm sorry to be dense, sir. I don't quite understand from your description there what you're asking. A bundle. Funny, the outside view looks so gloomy, but it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful bright sky. But because of the the autofocus on the camera and stuff, it's looking gloomy. It's really nice out there. It's going to be a bit chilly, but it's clear. When clicking on the thumbnail of a group of prints, there's a little title underneath. Yes, the title of it. Clicking on the title, get to the book too. Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. When you're looking at the thumbnails, you bring it up and there's a descriptor. I don't know if I can do that because when you're looking at the view of a thumbnail, you're in a pop-up window, and that little title is in a pop-up to a pop-up. You mean clicking that takes you out of the pop-up, back to the normal level, loads the page for that print. Okay, I think I see what you mean now. I'm not sure if I can technically do that. Okay, I get your idea, I think. Let me think about this. But I'm not quite so sure if I can technically do that. That's going to be difficult. I'm not really sure about that one. Is that the garbage truck down there? We're up at the right time, Michelle. Garbage truck for the hot dog restaurant. We had a funny one yesterday at the place next door, the place where the gas line has been dug out there. That was 2 nights ago. They're still doing their renovations. All the kitchen equipment was moved in a few days ago. Trucks and trucks and trucks of kitchen equipment. So they're coming along very well. And the people are really, really friendly and chatty. There's no, they're a bit nervous because they're making so much noise and disruption, so they're being really polite about that. And I'm saying, it's okay, don't worry about it, we're fine, blah, blah, blah. So it seems like there's a nice relationship developing between the new owners over there and us. It's fun. And yesterday, was it yesterday? Again, I get the days confused. The days just roll by. Today's, whatever, it was yesterday or the day before. I'm here working downstairs, packing some prints or something, doing something. And there's a woman outside. A truck pulls up outside. A little van pulls up outside. And a woman gets out and she starts looking for addresses. And this is really, really common here. Because all the buildings in this group, my building and the one next door being renovated and the little guy in the back who has the antique shop, and the guy who lives next door, and the little theater, we all have the same number, 1-41-8. Because at some point in the distant past, it's pre-war probably, there was a single building. It was the Noguchi Shokudo. A single building was on that footprint, so it had that address. 1-41-8 was the address of that building. War comes along, it burns down, they build this, they build that, they build this, they build that. The five, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 buildings that ended up, 5 smaller buildings that ended up being built on that same footprint, they get the same postal address because the numbers have all been used up. It was originally 141-1, 141-2, 141-3. When they were set up, they went around the block just numbering them. This one got number 8, a bit further down the block got number 9. So anyway, long story short, this thing gets taken down, this thing gets built up, and we've all got the same number. So the lady stands outside, and she's trying to deliver some flowers. And all she has is the address, 141-8. And that's me. And the flowers are not for me. Nobody is sending flowers in congratulation of your new shop opening up. There's the name card. Congratulations to your new restaurant. So I know what's going on. There's only one new restaurant being built on this little plot of land, and that's the guys who are doing construction next door. The shutter is closed. There's nobody in there at the time this lady came. They had been working earlier in the morning. They'd gone out and closed their shutter, and they were gone. And she's got this humongous, and I mean humongous, orchid. It's a thing. She's already taken it out of the back of her truck, and it's one of these things that's got a spray of flowers that hangs over. And this is traditionally given to people in Japan when they open a new shop, and it would be sent by maybe the suppliers or the people that sold them the kitchen equipment or their meat supplier or something. I've got no idea. One of the people who's going to be supplying these people, they got the date wrong. And they think that the opening was yesterday. And they've sent this huge, beautiful orchid. And this flower lady's standing outside like, who's this for or what's going on? Because she can't find a restaurant anywhere around here. So I look over her shoulder. She asks me what's going on. I tell her the story and blah, blah, blah. And it's obviously clearly for the people next door. So what I do tell her is, look, it's a restaurant. It's a group of people who are doing this. They already have other businesses. They've got a fortune-telling business. They've got a place where they sell dango, the same group. So I gave her the address of where it is, the other restaurant in the group or the other business in the group. Go over there and ask those people what's going on. So she drove off with this giant, huge orchid. I should have just said, "Oh yeah, restaurant. We're opening in about a week from now." The other thing about the address, and this is really, really fun. It's funny as in troublesome, or it's fun. When you're running for an appointment and you've got 5 minutes left and you're running for the address, it's not so much fun because you can't find the building. But when you don't have any time trouble, you're okay. As I said, the address, this was 141-8, a big building taken down, smaller buildings put up. What happens then is they could have done, okay, look around the block, which is the biggest number. They've gone to 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. The biggest one's 16. So if this is renovated and built up, this gets 17. Then later on, another 5 years goes by, another building gets torn down and renovated. That gets number 18. And you'll see this all the time in a block. If you walk around the block like this is District 1, Block 41, and the buildings are numbered. Number 1, number 2, number 3, we're building number 8. But as the years go by, they come down and down, the numbers get shuffled. So you can now walk around a block and it's block 141, it's number 2, 7, 14, 1, 3, 5, 16, and the numbers get shuffled as the years go by. So it's sometimes absolutely insane trying to find a building. And literally, what you got to do is you've got to go around the block on the right-hand side looking for the numbers, because it's somewhere on that block is the number you want. And you'll stop a person and ask them, where's 141-8? And they'll say, like, I don't know, they've been living there for 50 years, but nobody knows where it is. It's really fun unless you're running for an appointment, and then all of a sudden it's not so much fun anymore. And it's really not fun for people like this flower delivery girl or the Amazon guy or the Uber Eats guy who was just on his bicycle. He's never been here in his life before. And the Google star is in the middle of the block because Google doesn't have any idea which one of these buildings has that number. And you see this every day, the guy on his bicycle rolling around, trying to zoom in on the person who's ordered this pizza. It's really fun unless you're the guy on the hot seat, and then it's not so much fun anymore. But overall, actually, the Japanese system is really, really logical. I think it's not Japan, I think it's Asian systems. The address starts large and goes small, backwards from everywhere where I grew up. It's Japan. Tokyo Prefecture, Taito Ward, Asakusa, block number 1, building number 1, building. It starts large and it goes small. So the mailman just simply starts with the country and works his way down to this particular building. And I think it's really logical, except that at the very last step, the last, what they call the last mile or something, the last step is not logical at all. And that's where the chaos comes in. And it's daily. If I stand outside on a nice day with a cup of coffee just watching the stuff goes by, if you stand there more than X minutes, you see people trying to find addresses. The bicycle food delivery guy, the Amazon guy, whoever, whatever. The regular people, the mailmen, they know this stuff. They've got it built into their DNA. The takibin drivers, they know all these things, absolutely. It's the casual delivery people, the ones who don't know this street and this district. The other funny thing about this is, and this happens too, I'm standing outside with my cup of coffee or whatever, Dave's just sitting there, blum, blum. He looks, to all intents and purposes, like a local. He's standing there with a cup of coffee in front of this building. The guy's coming by looking for an address. He looks around, looks at me, and then does a double take. I'm going to ask a foreigner where this address is. It doesn't, I mean, the head explodes at that point because they can't get it. And people will do that. They'll do a double. This lady with the flowers did this. I went outside. I'm obviously here, I live here. She looked around and she didn't even think of asking me because I'm a tourist or something. She's not going to ask a tourist, where's the address? So I had to approach her. And Jusho, I'm asking, are you looking for an address? And she's like, yeah, but like, what are you going to be able to do about this? And that's fun sometimes too, You see the double take in these people's eyes. Like, oh, here's someone to ask. Oops, no, I can't ask him. Not sure when they're opening. It'll be another week, maybe a couple more weeks. I don't know. They really are taking their time on this one. So. And as I mentioned before, for me, the biggest question once these guys open next door is: are they going to be a smoking place or a non-smoking place? Because it's now Tokyo's in the middle of a changeover. And more places now have the sign outside, no smoking. The cafe across the street switched over. The Whale restaurant has switched over. I was astonished when I saw that. Because the only customers the Whale restaurant gets are old dudes. There's no young people go in there. And they have switched over to being non-smoking. Like that particular one doesn't affect me because I'm not really going to go in there and eat that stuff anyway. But they have switched over. So I've got my fingers tentatively crossed to see what happens next door here. In the short term, it won't affect me anyway because I'm not going to go in there. I don't go in restaurants these days. I haven't been in a restaurant now since March. So even when they open next week or whenever, I'm not going in there because, because pandemic. But when that's all over and it's back to normal, it would be really nice having a nice restaurant next door, only if it's non-smoking. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I was really shocked when I saw the sign on the Whale restaurant door, no smoking. I'm like, wait a minute, that just isn't going to happen, but there it is. Maybe, I guess, I don't know this, but maybe there's a financial reward. Maybe the Tokyo Prefecture, with the Olympics coming up, they really wanted to try and push this. So maybe they've made a deal where anybody who switches over gets a cash reward or something. I don't know about that, but it's possible that's what's happening. feels like that's actually going to happen. Whatever. Oh, Tom, 1060. You're on this. I'm on this. I looked this up yesterday. It's February the 16th. February the 16th. I think I made a note. February 16th, February 21st. February 16th. I've already forgotten it. I looked it up yesterday. It's on a note on my desk upstairs. It's coming up next month. It's either February 16th or February 21st. I get mixed up. No, that's my mother's birthday. It's in mid-February, and I am on this, and I will be talking about this later on. So thanks for the reminding. Thank you very much. Thanks for reminding me that. What kind of meat is in there? I don't know. It's whale and dolphin and you name it. I don't know. No idea. No idea. He and I never talk about that anymore. He knows how I feel about it. He doesn't ask me. The first year or so I was here, he's like, come on, let's go. Free dinner, come on in, I'll give you free dinner, But he and I don't talk about it anymore. He knows I'm not going to go in there, and he gave up a long time ago. He knows there's no future in it, but whatever, that's his business. He keeps going. There's no reason for him to close down. There are still customers. But he knows there's no future in it. I should be a bit more careful with these peony lines on the outside. When I'm cutting a peony line inside this thing, it's really irrelevant what I do, because this is all going to be a single color. It's going to be a peonied color, peony. But the outside lines is a bit different. I've got to be careful, because it's going to be one color inside and another color outside. So these outside lines of this flower, these are border lines between colors. And it's all too easy to sort of not think too much about it and think, hey, I'm a cool carver. I can carve really nice thin lines. This is so cool. I'm so good at this, And yet what you're doing by carving really thin lines in a place like this is you're making life much more difficult for the printers. So if I carve this one inside here, razor thin, it doesn't matter because it's not the border for a color zone. But one of the ones I did just now up there, I carved it thinner than it should have been, actually. I went down inside this loop here. And some of that is thinner than it should be. I should leave some meat on these lines. Otherwise, the printers, it's just that much more difficult for them, Me too, later, when I'm doing the color blocks, I have to be really careful to make sure the color blocks match up exactly. But the thinner the line is, the dividing line, the more critical the color block is. And they are not going to thank me if I make some of these too thin. That happened a lot on the first print in this series, the first one of the year. It wasn't that I was showing off, it was whatever, that we've reduced the size of this print from the original, and some of those birds were really quite thin. In fact, I got a link for this. We took photographs of this last night. I can pop that up. Let me find a link here. This is a semi-close-up photograph of the first print, on the first two prints in this year's series. Hang on a sec here. Here we are. there's the 1, and if you change the O1 to an O2, these are fairly close-up views of the first 2 prints in this year's series. And you can see those birds on the legs, for example, and somewhere on the bird on the caudizuri or near the beak. Some of the dividing lines are really, 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 really thin. And the printers were like, whatever, they do what they got to do, but, you know. And you can see the difference there. If you compare back and forth those two, print number 1 and print number 2, look at the calligraphy maybe, stuff like this. Print number 1 is my carving, and print number 2 is Chonsan's carving. Our, the young boy who came from Hong Kong, who's now working for us full-time as a carver. So it's his work and my work. You can compare the two of them right there then. And I was going to say he's chasing me, but no, he's passed me long ago. He's really, really good at this. His work is more delicate than mine. The lines flow more nicely than mine. The downside is that he's still very, very slow. He's extremely slow. I don't have the hourly count, but it took him twice as long, easily twice as long to do his print as it did for me to do mine. And it's difficult to make a living when you're half as fast as everybody else, you know. Is it crow wars out there? What's happening out there today? So the crow there, it's the same thing. What is he saying? Is it like, hey, this is my territory, keep away? Or what is he saying? What's the message? You know, that's all I can think about. It's a territorial note. This is me. I'm here today. I'll hang around here today. You guys can keep away, please. Is that the message? What else could it be? It's like, hey, there's good food here. Come on over and help me with this. He wouldn't say that, I don't think. Yeah, I think it must be just a territorial marker, I guess. Or yeah, hey, I've got a good, nice voice. Come on, ladies, come on, let's play. I guess that's another alternative. I don't know. So, stream is live, come in front of the camera. I don't think that's what it is, but whatever. What's the message? Mated pairs find each other. I guess so. If they've been scattered around looking for food, it's his voice. Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here. Yeah, maybe. I guess it's my personal identification call, is what you're saying. I guess so. I don't know. Or he's just singing. Yeah, I don't know. No idea. No idea. I think you'd have to, do a study, get to know the local crows, see what, band them so you can identify each one, see what their calls are like. It would be good fun to do that. I guess people are researching that kind of thing, I suppose. Yeah. They're changing. Some are shorter, right? Some are longer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's change now. It's 7 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 that time. 4. 1. Maybe he's telling numbers. There was 7, 5, 4, 1. He's counting something. Or it's language. It's like some guy who's been paralyzed and he's got to blink and he's writing a book by blinking his left eyelid or something. Maybe they're communicating like that. Telling us the lottery numbers. Good luck on that one. Okay. So Morse code. So it would be fun to play with your head, you know. I mean, digital recording, just record something at some point and then play it back and like see what reaction it has. Not play it back right away, but play it back the next day or something. You know, mess with their heads. You know, you could do this. You know. Well, I think there's action. There's something happening out there, clearly. There's something happening. Oh. The vowel has changed. Instead of it's oh. How's our time? I keep forgetting to check. We okay? 9:06. Good. Okay. We do have a show and tell today, so give me a few minutes to muck with this. Actually, we have. I brought down a little folder from upstairs from the collection, and there's 2 items in it, so we're sort of going to have a double today. I thought I should do one today and save the other one for the other day, but whatever. I don't know. There's also something else. When I'm upstairs there in the morning before the stream, I look through the shelves and think, what should we show today? There's a whole class of stuff now that I've sort of been skipping over. I pull out like little stuff. I pull out the shelf because it's little. I can bring it down. I can put it in the desk. We can do this. But what it means is I'm ignoring all the big stuff. And we have folders and folders and boxes and bins full of large objects. But I can't put them on the desk here. So I'm going to have to sort of, they're building up now. I'm sort of using up all the little things and building up all these larger ones. So I'm going to have to think about a different way to do this. And if we still had like Cameron riding herd here, riding side saddle, we could do that. But he moves the camera and I do the thing, but he's not here, so I'm not sure how to do this. I could, I guess, just whatever, set up another shelf over there, get the large object ready for the show and tell over there. Then when it's time to do show and tell, I just get up, move over there, move the camera, stand over there and do it. But I can't then see the chat. So I'm not sure about a good way to handle that. But there are now a huge number of large objects that just don't fit on my desk here. I thought of another idea, but I'm probably not going to do this because it's too involved. Is before the stream starts, I get the large object, get the camera, and I make a video about it. And then what I do is, at show and tell time, I play that video for you while we talk about it. But that's just like making another YouTube video. There's no way I can do that each time, So I don't know. And when it's a large object, it needs zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, zooming in. I need a cameraman, So anyway, today I didn't wrestle with that problem. I just grabbed a small package off the shelf and we'll look at something small again today, So. But our collection, actually, we have quite a lot of representative larger things, Oh, is that it? Are we actually finished this peony inside? Maybe so. Just got to go around the outside here. Look at that. How's our time? Yeah, I can do this. One more peony bites the dust. And again, because it's an outside line here, try to avoid going too thin. Dave, if Dave was just the carver, he really wouldn't care so much. Printers, that's it. You do your job. I'll do my carving job. Printers, you do your printing job. If Dave was just a carver. But Dave isn't just a carver. Dave's the publisher here. And Dave knows that if it's too tight here for the printers, there's going to be more spoiled copies, and that costs me. So Dave, the publisher, wants this thing to be not as easy as possible. That's the wrong word for it. But I want this thing to be to go smoothly without trouble for all of the people involved, So Dave, the carver, is like, whatever. I cut it, you print it, go for it. Dave, the publisher, says, come on, let's just give them a bit of a break here. So, okay, one peony bites the dust. We're done. So what is it? Today's Thursday. Will be when we start carving again. We'll be doing, maybe I'll work on a leaf or something down here. We're going to do all the greenery first. I'll do the leaves and peonies. Once the greenery's done, then we'll work on the main feature. The whatever it is. It's a dog ferret / wolf, whatever. We'll work on that when we get to it. Okay. Okay, let's move on. I have a double sort of show and tell today, so we'll start a little bit early. It's okay, it doesn't matter. So Tom's saying, for the big prints, just take a picture and put it here, and we'll just use the picture. That's possible, but then zooming in and zooming out, I don't know, And some of the big prints we've got, it's not just a look at the picture. Because it's a large print, there's poetry in one corner and this and that, so I want to zoom over and talk about this and talk about that. Anyway, whatever, we'll take it as it comes. We'll take it as it comes. The life is long. Life is long. We are all yet young. So show and tell. I pulled one box, and as I said, I could do this. We'll do one today and save one for the next day, but let's just look at these things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So we have from our collection, we have secret box number, whatever it is, CC, clear case A5007. And we have 2 books inside. And as I said, I don't think I've shown these to you before, but I'm losing control of this. I didn't keep track of, I showed them this object on December the 14th, 2017. I don't know. But what we have here are 2 more of the famous, fabled process of color printing. We have this one and this one. So let's flip through. These are again Junjo Zuri. Junjo Zuri. Process of printing. And this first one is from the Watanabe Company. In fact, I think they're both from the Watanabe Company. Interesting. I don't know the dates. This first one is, all I can say is it's pre-war. The second one is quite clearly post-war. That's all I can sort of guess at. Let's have a look. Should I leave it there long enough for you to read it? To which not a bit of pulp is mixed, and it is all handmade. Yeah, I guess so. This is not woodblock, of course. This is printed by metal type. You can see the emboss. It's metal type. And what they've done, this one is going to be, this is a hiroshige pen. Let's find a good layout so I can just go through the page here. Let's get the camera ready. Hang on. Let's zoom in on this thing as nicely as we can, just page by page. Let's get this out of the way for a minute. Is that going to be a good place here? Put my glasses case underneath it. Will this do us? Here we go. Good. Okay, this is a hiroshige design from Hiroshige's Views, 36 Views of Fuji. When you speak of 36 views of Mount Fuji, it's always Hokusai, Hokusai, Hokusai we talk about. This is hiroshige. And you'll see, I don't know how many colors there are. We'll see as we go along. Key block first. And the way they're doing this one is we've got it right and left. It's designed Japanese style, open from the right. So we have the color blocks printed. What you're seeing is one sheet of paper. They've carved the color area twice. We've seen one of these before. So the printer just prints this. Will you let us know which bits I've stolen from this? I've stolen nothing from this. Nothing. Yet. Okay, no problem, no problem. No overlaps yet. The book, by the way, too, the book is accordion style. The whole thing lifts up in one piece. You can actually lay this all out on the floor and look at the whole thing in one piece. The first 2 colors are almost the same. The first one is a peach color, like a skin tone, bits of bark on the wood. And the next one is pink for cherry blossoms. Is the light okay? It might be a bit too bright. I don't know. Anyway, let's go through it and we can come back and zoom in. Then interesting about the printing order here also too, to keep the number of pages in the book at a reasonable level, they've done some of these in 2 versions. We saw one, color number 1, color number 2. This is color number 3 and 4. And I guess they've carved these on the same piece of wood, although I'm not sure, we can't tell from this because they could have printed this A and then B from a different block. But it looks like perhaps it's on the same piece of wood. What do you think of that yellow grass? You can see where this is going to be going to show. The mountain and yellow. And here's our first overprinting. We had already a light color on the tree. Let's skip back and see it. we had a peach, not a peach color, skin tone on the tree, and that's now almost buried by this. And I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but I can see it from where I am. There is now a second tone. There is now a second tone on that tree. And they've put the second tone in the same place where there's also some heavier marks from Sumi. Deepen it up. And at any given stage of this, you might say, no, that's too dark, what's going on? But it's sort of, trust me, wait till we get to the end and we can see how it all works out. The sky comes in with a gradation first in this printing. Usually you do the whole sky and then put a gradation on top of it. And if I had just this, I would think we were in a snow scene. But no, of course, they've cut out the sky for the pink blossoms on the top. And it starts bit by bit to come to life. This, I think, is the same block as this one. We've got a block for the sky and parts of the lower area, but they used the block first here just to do the top. But this next one is the same block, absolutely the same block. The tree is carved out, the cartouche is carved out, Mount Fuji is carved out, and they're just applying pigment to a different piece of the same block. And this is, it looks over here like sky. It's not sky, it's ground and water. Let's see where we're going with this. And this again is the same block, a third time. You can see the area here, that's the river, the water area, the gradation on it. Keeping your brush really careful, not banging up into this area. So these three, and I don't even know what's coming up, but these three are the same, not this one. This is the same block, printed it once at the top, printed it twice from the bottom, and printed it third time with a gradation. Same piece of wood. This is a different block. And we are now overlapping. We had the blue river tone in this area, but because of the overlap, it is now changed to look more like land. So some blocks get a lot more use than other blocks. This is why we see these old block sets from the Doi Hunga Company. It's maybe 6 or 8 blocks in a set, and 1 or 2 of them have been replaced partway along. So some blocks get much heavier use than others and will get replaced before other blocks. Here we are, same block again. This is the block. For the gray tone here, we're going to hit the same block with a gradation at the top. And look at it, the landscape just starts to get depth. We're not finished, of course, yet, nowhere near it. But you can see bit by bit by bit how the depth builds up. Is this again, is it the same block? Just a minute, let's flip back. It is. It's the same block again. So this block also has now been used 3 times. A basic light gray, a gradation, and a gradation up from the bottom. Completely new block. You see this is leaves on the tree, and this is covering a lot of the stuff we've already done to show. This part that had the gray inside, this is now being, well, look at the overlap here. How many more left? 1, 2 left, I think. Let's see what they're going to go do for us. Different block. This at first looks like the same block done again, but it's not. It's a different block. It's a different cut, and different items are cut out of it. So this is unusual. They found themselves unable to use the same block for this because of this area. So for their gradation. And I can imagine when the carver was doing the color separations, how can I manage these? How can I combine them? Too bad. This one didn't get combined with anything else. And I believe the next one is the end of it. Let's have a look. Yes. More blossoms, tighter blossoms, the closed blossoms, the cartouche spaces, and some kimono colors. And there we have our finished Finished print. Someone's asking, who owns the rights to these? This is ancient stuff. This is all in public domain. Hiroshige lived in the mid-1800s. He would have died in, I don't know, you tell me 1870 or something he died. I don't know, 1860, 1870. This is all public domain information. Anybody who wants to make one of these old ukiyo-e prints is free to do so. The museums who keep them like to think they have a sort of a copyright in their photographs, but the images they belong to the world. Anybody could copy from this stream or copy anywhere, carve it themselves, print it themselves. There's no copyright in these things whatsoever. So there we are, very nice job. The original of this would have been an Oban print. It would be like the same size as the Great Wave, for example, turned this way. This would have been a very, very large print originally. Very large. This has been photographed already. It's just waiting for Photoshop. This will be in our collection very soon. Is that a hair or a defect on the left? This is paper. It's chitty. Look, nothing here. Here it is. It's a paper defect. It's crap in the paper. It's not here. It's not in the carving. It's in the actual piece of paper. And someone's asking, would we ever consider doing something like this? It's impossible to do this these days. It was only possible when craftsmen were dirt cheap and lightning fast. For me to sell this, think of what's going on here. The sheets of paper, the print size sheet of paper is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 24 sheets of paper. It's a finished print. Then it's a finished print minus 1 color, a finished print minus 2 colors. It's the same amount of printing as like making a half a dozen prints. So the price of this, to pay the printer, would be the same as making 6 or 7 prints. The printer's fee would be that much. The paper would be 24 times the cost of paper, and then I've got to pay someone to do the binding. It's insanely expensive. There's just no way I can put this in the market. They could do this back in the tourist era, pre and post-war, when craftsmen were dirt cheap and super fast. It's just impossible for me these days to even think about marketing something like this. But they are so cool. They are so cool. Okay, we got time. Let's just do one more. I could save it for the next day, but let's just do it. Let's spend our capital. This is Watanabe. This is post-war Watanabe. And I'm guessing that we are going to see a whole different level of printing quality here. Whole different level of printing quality. Oh, it's the same text, but laid out differently. Look at this. It's the same text to show. It's the same text. But this one's clearly post-war. This is if I had to guess, I'd say 1960s, if I had to guess. We have a horizontal print rather than a vertical. Let's go through. We know what it is. It's Yui Station from the Tokaido. And I think this means it'll be 8 or 9 impressions. Let's have a look and see. Key block first. And here we go. And look, already we can see the printing quality is awful. My God, it's awful. It's Gomazuri. Gomazuri. They just slapped it on. Nobody cared. This is now clearly, it's just for the tourists. They could care less. Let's just slap it on. And this could be, somebody said intern's work or something. Yeah, whatever. Who knows? I know, really, I know. This is junk level printing. Junk level printing. Anyway, there we go. First color. Where are we going from here? I don't remember. Another gray, darker gray. And it's funny, already we can't even almost see the first color here, but it's there. This is now, the first color is visible, the first gray, and a darker gray. And they're playing games with us a little bit here, because this looks actually like 2 impressions. I'm not quite sure what they've done here. There's a base tone of a faint brown, and there's also a gradation that I'm not quite sure how you would do that. there's a gradation here, and a gradation here, but this is strong color. So this doesn't really look like one impression. It could be based on first gradation here, but when you did this gradation, you'd end up banging here. So this will be done separately. This will be done separately. This could be done together with this. So I'm looking like 3 impressions here. I'm not pretty sure. Anyway, there it is. There's the brown. Same blue, doesn't quite even match, does it? These are different. The previous one were done on one sheet of paper, printed at the same time. These are printed on different sheets of paper that are then stuck into the album. So A here and B here are from different printing runs. Somebody mixed a bit of a darker pigment than on this. This whole production is much more careless than the one we just saw. Much more careless. But again, this is clearly now for a junk tourist market. The last one was made with some kind of sense of let's do this properly and make this thing look beautiful. This one is now just blow it out the door. Same block. Okay, we do the same thing before. Now we've got the same block. This block is being used now again, just this one part of it. But so careless, whatever. This is embarrassing. I shouldn't even really be showing it to you. Printed so badly. Anyway, you get the idea how it works. And again here, 1 gradation, 2 gradations. No, this couldn't be done together, because if you did, as you were doing this one, you would almost certainly bang into this zone. So you'd either have to be doing a lot of covering up with different pieces of paper to get this done. Is that a repeated block though? Is that the dark black block repeated? No. No, different carving. It's a fresh block. So, and somebody's saying gradations, Karen's got this, gradations in quotation marks. It's blop, blop, chung, blop, blop. This is high-speed crap work. And I'm seeing a problem here. Do you see the problem here? Do you see what I'm seeing? This sample and this sample are the same, and they've pasted in the book here the wrong one. They've printed the sky and printed one in here that doesn't have a sky. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Moving right along. The next one, we have the C gradation. Oh, the sky has magically appeared. It's okay, it's okay. That's not the printer's problem. That's the lady who the person who pasted all the books together. She picked one up from the wrong pile and glued it on that page there. So, as we said, moving right along. So, I should have shown this one first, actually. So I got these backwards today. I should have shown this one first and then done the nice one. This is funny. There's actually people up here. We should maybe zoom in a bit. There are people up there on the mountain, and they have clothing, and this is part of their clothing. And Watanabe-san, what's his name? Sho Zaburo-san, Sho Zaburo-san. Well, he stopped spinning long ago. I think he stopped spinning long ago. Here's the sky, and it would be the same block as was used for the lower part of the sky. so whatever, I shouldn't, whatever. It was a market. It was a specific product for a specific market. It was okay. And that finishes it off. It's okay. It was for a specific market, as I said, just to let the two. It's a cool item. It still is a cool item, I shouldn't be, it actually came out okay. Look, the final one, actually. This final one has been done fairly nicely. All those crap printings we saw partway along, this one actually is not so bad. It's nothing for the ages, but it actually came together quite well. We see some nice gradations at the side here, so the end result is okay. not very high quality work, but it shows the process. It shows the process. So as somebody's saying, probably the real staff printers did this version, and it was, you know, just hired guns, whatever, or apprentices or whatever to do the partway along ones. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, there you have it. 2 more of the books. Watanabe-san, our Watanabe, same name, but no connection with these people. We have a staff member called Watanabe-san, Aya Watanabe. She's doing photography together with Yamada-kun, and she's doing most of the Photoshop work for putting these things in the collection. So she has already shot both of these books, and they will be coming to an online collection near you any day now. What she does is she works at home and she sends me the email saying, I've just uploaded such and such, please check it out. I check it out. If it's all good, I open it up and we go from there. So this will be coming to a website near you any minute now, any day now, any day now. Okay, there we have it. There we have it. Good, good, good. Thanks for hanging in. A bit of a funny, you know, not much happened stream today. Today's Thursday morning. I'll be back here Saturday morning, and I will be, I think, just simply continuing along with our friend, the dog ferret, hacking away at that block, bit by bit by bit. And I will try, if I can figure out how to do it, maybe I'll try bringing down a larger print or some larger prints from the collection, setting them up over there, and then when we get to show and tell time, I'll just have to try moving things around and doing what we can do. What's this? Publishing where the steps are digital and the finals are woodblock print. That's actually an idea, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? That's an idea. I never thought about that. Go to Kinko's, blow it all out, and just have a woodblock print. So our part of the production is just a normal woodblock print. You get the binding to figure out. There's an idea there. Thank you. Thank you. Chocolate eggs as appropriate. Thank you very much. I don't know who to be giving the eggs here to, but yes, there's an idea there. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. We'll think about that. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see you 2 more days from now, Saturday morning. Thanks for watching. Good times, everybody. Thank you again. Bye-bye. This one is nice. These guys cared. These guys cared. They're all long, long dead, but they cared. Bye for now.